Hey guys, here we are at New York Comic Con with Vanessa Marshall, who plays
Hello.
Hera on Star Wars Rebels.
That's right.
So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, first of all, congratulations, because I think that the first episode has gotten a great reception from fans. They seem very happy.
Absolutely.
How does that feel?
Feels really wonderful. It's not only wonderful to be able to share it and speak about it because we've had to be silent for so long, but I'm so happy that everyone is pleased. That it's really rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell by your shirt, actually.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh wait, here. This is even better. There
Oh,
we go.
nice.
I've been rapping since '77.
It has to be tough, right? The cone of silence around it.
That is the hardest part. Yeah, that and also being a fan myself, having just nervous breakdowns when I read certain things in the script. I have to sort of pull it together.
Right. You
Yeah.
can't tweet, "Oh my God, this is
Yeah.
what."
No, or even, I mean, I have to do my job, so I can't really
Yeah.
freak out. I save it for later.
Okay. So now, having noted the cone of silence, I'm gonna attempt to break it a little bit.
Okay, let's see what happens here.
Can you just tell me? I mean, all the press sort of notes on this have indicated that have called your character a mother figure.
Yes.
Which I don't think does her justice necessarily.
Not
I
really,
think she's a lot
but
cooler than that, you know.
Yeah.
But what is her relationship with the other characters?
Well, she owns the Ghost, the ship, and they've said that it's sort of the Millennium Falcon of this iteration, and she's the leader. She has picked each member of this crew for very specific reasons, so she has a good eye for talent. And I think insofar as she motivates them, mentors them, guides them, that could be seen as a sort of maternal, nurturing spirit. But also I think what unites them is the universal pain from Order 66. All the Jedi have been exterminated. And so I think that leads to compassion or love within the family that has created this ragtag group that she's assembled. So she is the leader, the ace pilot, and the chief motivator, and the getaway driver.
And her ship is compared to the Millennium Falcon, which is...
Yeah, I know. No pressure. Yeah, no, I bow down to the Millennium Falcon. Let's just get that right off. Yeah.
So, you mentioned Order 66, which is like
Yes.
such a, it's like the bleakest moment in Star
Ever.
Wars history, right?
I wept, yeah.
And yet the show is very much more of the original series in terms of tone, I think.
Absolutely.
So, do you think we will be seeing, because you are living in the wake of, Hera is living in the wake of what happened with Order 66, will we see some darkness as well?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of darkness. The people that are being slowly exterminated, if you will, if they're in the Empire's way, people who are being imprisoned. It is a very dark time, and the Inquisitor scares me to death. I won't even follow him on Twitter. That guy scares me. So it's sort of inherently oppressive and dark. And what is really cool about the show is that just like in the original trilogy, obviously the stakes were incredibly high. They managed to have this sort of biting humor, and the rhythm and the music and all of it is just working up this huge lather to where you can't look away, anyway, I think it's very similar in tone and rhythm and style, and I think that's why people are responding so much to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we all love the original trilogy, and I think people are going to want to tune in week after week to see what we're up to next.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned the Inquisitor. I've got to ask, Darth Vader, we now hear, James Earl Jones, no less, is
Yes.
coming on.
Yeah, that was news to me, too. That's what's interesting about the Cone of Silence, is that once it's pierced, it's sort of, even those on the inside are kind of like, excuse me, what?
Right.
Yeah. It blew my mind, because I would ask Dave Filoni, what's going on? And he'd say, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's really good. The Cone of Silence, he feigns ignorance. Yeah.
It's a great strategy, right?
Yeah, but I almost crashed my car when I heard that. Yeah.
Do you think that Hera might get to interact with Lord Vader at some point?
Mind explosion. Maybe.
Hopefully.
We'll see. But because she's the getaway driver, oftentimes the crew takes the ancillary ship out, the Phantom, and they do sort of runs for food and fuel and whatever else we need to help people who are being marginalized or harmed, or they're starving to death. So she's often not involved in the heavy duty stuff, but she's sort of waiting outside with the car running, the Ghost.
But then that's when the Star Destroyer pulls up right
Yeah,
above. So
exactly. Yeah. So she's there. I don't know that she would actually give him a high five and interact with him,
Right.
but take on a Sith Lord. I don't know.
Is there a moment or a character or a planet from the movies that you would like to see her visit or meet?
I would love the Onderon arc in the Clone Wars. Season 5 for me was sort of the seedlings of the Rebel Alliance, where Saw and Steela Guerrera were trained by Anakin and Ahsoka in the ways of battle as the Separatist government was sort of taking over. And I would really love for Lux Bonteri and those characters to be called back into this, to almost reflect back on the Clone Wars, but also to see how this has been building for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I think it would be such a rich reward.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Do you know something we don't know about that?
No, I don't. In fact, I hope I'm brainwashing Dave Filoni right now to do that.
You're listening, Dave?
You heard that? I'm just saying. Onderon.
Will we get to learn more about Hera's backstory and like how the team came together?
Yes, you will. Absolutely. And, you know, I was talking to someone about this. It's almost the pain that they've suffered is so unspeakable that it's not overt. We don't like sit down and say, so where are you from? The way these things surface, it's so awful that they can't overtly state exactly where they came from. We find out dribbles and drabs. It's so heartbreaking that we almost can't handle it all at once. So the characters are learning with the audience about the other people on the ship.
Right. As it would probably be in real life, actually.
Well,
right? You don't just come out and give your whole backstory.
Well, if you had a rough childhood, I'm really curious about it. I'm wondering sort of what that's about, but I'm certainly not going to go.
Right.
So, you know, that's just.
Let's do some exposition right now.
Yeah, it's just insensitive.
Yes. Yeah.
And not to mention that the task at hand is so dire. I mean, they're starving to death, or you know, they're about to run out of fuel. They don't really have time to go. So tell me about your childhood, you know.
Yeah.
But it does come out when they visit different planets that reflect their backstories. We learn more about them and have even more compassion than we already do.
Sure. And now we already know that you're getting a season 2.
Yay!
So congratulations on that
yes,
also.
thank you so much. That's wonderful.
Do you have any sense of the bigger kind of picture game plan of what season 2, if it'll be a shift in?
I'm going to learn that soon, no doubt. But once again, because it's building up to A New Hope, it's fascinating how it is at once quite dark, but it's also leading us towards a brighter future for them. So I think it'll be equally complex and riveting.
Yeah, if you're a real geek about Star Wars, it boggles the mind, but it's like, well, wait. So we're only like 5 years out from A New Hope?
I'm not. Not too far, but far enough away to where we're not necessarily sure that this is going to go down.
Right. Yeah. But when you go back and watch A New Hope, you're thinking, well, wait, where is Hera? You know, these guys could still be around somewhere. You know?
Yeah, they could. Now, when I look at A New Hope, I have more reverence for the lives that were lost to get that information. I mean, everyone always goes, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope, or whatever. But there's that piece of information is not just some little memory chip. There are a lot of backstories there, and I think that makes that, much like the Clone Wars made Return of the Jedi so much more rich for me. I think this is going to do that for A New Hope.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, last question.
Sure.
Just favorite Star Wars movie?
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And because of the Clone Wars.
Okay.
Initially, it was A New Hope because it was the first movie I saw, and it was so moving. But after seeing the Clone Wars, and of course the prequels as well, really understanding the completion of Anakin's arc, I cared so deeply.
You mean Revenge of the Sith, right?
No, Return of the Jedi. The ultimate.
The completion of.
Yeah, the completion of the arc.
All right, okay.
Because yes, it was fantastic the first time around seeing it, you know. But after having a deeper understanding of Anakin's pain, Darth Vader is much more than just sort of a heavy-breathing evil guy. There is a heart at the core. So that moment when, you know, he saves his son's life, it's such a completion of a beautiful narrative arc.
The funeral pier.
I really. Wow, I know everyone always thinks it's the Ewoks. No, I mean, yes,
there's a lot more to it.
They're very cute, but it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful.
All right. Well, great. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
stopping by.
Thanks so much.
For everything Star Wars Rebels and Hera.
That's right.
Keep it locked to IGN.